Wow, is TractorMonkey ever mad at me? Apparently, he blames me for the uh, the Craftsman impact gun here tearing up. He says it's my fault, and that if I don't fix it, then I'm going to lose my TV privileges for a month. And so, how am I supposed to watch reruns of Gilligan's Island if I ain't allowed to watch TV? So I guess I got to try to do something here. Anyways, this is the part that's bad, the valve seat, and basically it looks like it was just a metal washer encapsulated in some rubbery type material. It feels kind of brittly hard now. Of course, it may have started out being soft, and over time, probably because you've got to lubricate the gun with oil. I guess the oil, has slowly disintegrated it over time and basically destroyed it. And of course, I couldn't find a replacement because they're no longer available. I looked and looked and couldn't find it. And if you look at the picture of a new one, it's like the metal washer here was molded into the material here. So now this piece here, I was able to get out. What I had to do was this trigger assembly. It fit right in here. Had this roll pin, so I knocked the roll pin out, took the trigger piece out, and then this piece here was screwed into the round portion of the inside here. You saw that in the last video if you watched it. Anyways, stick a screwdriver down in there, and it's got screwdriver slots. It just unscrewed. So what you have here, and I think this is the way it worked, this washer or whatever valve seat fit over that like that, and then you got the middle part of this fitting into that like that, and the air pressure, I assume, flows by these notches here and makes the valve seat airtight over this piece here and stops the airflow, which stops the gun. So when you press the trigger, I assume this piece here hits this stem here somehow or another and pushes it to one side, and when it does that, it must let air flow past through these notches here, and so it can operate. And then when you release the trigger, the spring or something, releases back or something, and then the valve seat, fits over tightly again. So in other words, as far as I know, this is the only part that's bad, just this broken piece here. So if I could come up with a something to replace it with, maybe it'll work. So there's a couple of ways I could go about this. One way is I could take this washer and get some silicone type material and make one, make a little mold or something, and pour some silicone in there and squish it down in there and put a layer on top and let it all dry and everything like that, and, that may work. First, I'm going to try something else though. What I thought I would do is use some washers like you would use for a sink, and see if that'll work. Okay, so I've got a bag of assorted faucet washers, and I've picked one out here. I don't know if the diameter of the inside hole was that big in that washer, or was it smaller and that material's just all broke out. I have no idea. I assume you only need, of course that's a little bit smaller, but I assume all you need is to be able to cover that up to stop the airflow. So I'm gonna try that, and I think that washer goes in before the trigger assembly, because I don't see how it could make a seal if it's on the bottom side of that lever there. I think it's got to be on the top side. So first I got to get this piece screwed back in there. See if I can accomplish that. Maybe easier said than done, but just drops down in there, and then you got to get it threaded. So that ain't gonna be easy without probably a special tool that would let it stay straight. So I don't know. Let's see what I can do. Yeah, that ain't gonna work. I'm gonna have to come up with something to hold it on the screwdriver, like a piece of tape or something, while I get it. Maybe able to do it like that. Let's see if that works. Sort of hold it like that. It may be going in. It feels like it's going in. Of course, there's no way to show this on camera. I can barely see down in there myself. Need to go scare up a screwdriver with a wider blade on it. Be right back. Okay, so I got it screwed in there. So next, I assume how this works is the valve seat sits over this, and when there's air, it's being forced through the handle. I think that these notches here make it sort of self-centering, with the airflow all around the edges. Probably centers that, and then pushes, airflow pushes against that washer there, and that seals it up. And then when you hit it with the trigger, you just like poke it out of the way, and air escapes from one side, and then when you release it, the air pressure, you know, makes the spring center again. That's how I'm guessing it works. So I'm going to put this piece up in here. And then I'm going to pop the trigger in, but I'm not going to install the roll pin yet, because I don't want to have to beat the roll pin out every 5 minutes when I'm playing around with it. So we'll just see if that does anything. So, and this washer here is broke, and that would seal the bottom, but I think that can probably be replaced with something rather similar, because I mean they got stuff like that in the plumbing section that should be close enough to probably work. So, and I'm not going to drop the balls in there right now either. So let's put that on. Let's snug it down a little bit. Now that rubber probably ain't going to last long, depending on how it reacts to oil. You know, rubber and oil don't get along. So even if it works, you don't know how long it's going to work. So, but I just want to see if that, you know, helps at all. So let's get the air hose and hook it up. Okay, let's hook the air hose up and see what kind of result we get here. Well, I didn't have my hand over the trigger and it blew it clean out of the thing. Alright, let's locate the trigger. Alright, let's try this again, and I'm going to attempt to hold the trigger while I'm putting the air hose on. Of course, I can't do this one-handed. So that's got a lot of air pressure on that trigger. Doesn't seem to be sealing it up though. Okay, that did not work. Still air getting past that. So let me see if I can figure out if the washer is in there right. Okay, I'm going to try one that's a little bit bigger. Now I don't know that the air is still escaping around the middle of the hole or not, because I don't know if that part was sealed off, you know. So I guess I could try, if this doesn't work, I could try putting some silicone in the middle of that hole there and see what happens. But first I'm just going to drop this one in there and see how that does. Okay, so in the meantime, instead of putting the roll pin back in there, I'm just going to put a piece of this safety wire through there, and at least that'll keep it from flying out of the handle here. If I can feed it through there. There. See if that keeps it from flying out while I hook the air hose back up. Hope you can see. I don't know if you can even see what I'm doing or not. We can definitely hear some change in speed. Not much, but a little bit. So I think I'm on the right track. If I can just find the right material to put down in there. Okay, so I kept messing with this thing, figured out some more stuff. Inside there, that original washer was sitting on a lip right before you get to the trigger mechanism, and kind of like if that was the inside, and then the washer fit right on the edge of that lip like that. So, and that opening there gives enough airflow through there to operate it at full speed, so these washer holes were a little bit too small. So what I did was I got an X-Acto knife, and first I found a washer that fit right on that lip as close as I could get it. Took the X-Acto knife and reamed out the hole to where it was almost as big as the washer there. And instead of a rubber O-ring here, I got a rubber O-ring that goes in a garden hose and fitted over the end of that air fitting. I just had to leave this off here, and the balls aren't going to go back in it because it really has no effect on operation. It's just used for dampening the exhaust air that comes out of here when you're running it, to help quieten it a little bit. So since I can't put this back on it, just leave the balls out, otherwise they'll just fall out. So I got it all back together, put the trigger mechanism, and let's see what happens here. Get my air hose, hook it up. Still got a little air leak, but that's not even this. This is just this crappy piece right here. Let me let the compressor shut off before I continue. Okay, that's just air escaping around this crappy hose fitting here. Fits like crap on there. Alright, let's try it out. Woohoo! Yeah! Alright! Yeah! Ooh, it even felt stronger than it did before. Let's go forward. Yeah! Yeah! That's low speed, medium speed, high speed, reverse. Alright. Not only do I get to watch Gilligan's Island, I'll probably get to watch Wonder Woman and the Wild Wild West too. Alright.